Welcome back, everyone. If you're searching for a way to break through your personal difficulties and to live a life of greater connectedness in the new year, you may want to turn to Robert V. Taylor's guidance.
His new book is called A New Way to Be Human, 7 Spiritual Pathways to Becoming Fully Alive, in which he shares his own story and helps guide you through your own journey. And he's joining us right now. Great to have you here.
Great to be with you.
Why do we need to have a new way to be human?
Well, you know, I think for many of us, the old way just isn't working. I mean, people have a sense of helplessness, of disengagement about life. And so the book is an invitation to say, you know, instead of clutching at life as you think you know it, enter into these 7 pathways, be grounded in a life of generous love and compassion, be connected with what your story reveals about sacred truth, about your own importance in the world, to yourself and to others, and step beyond the things that enclose you in some way, that keep you from being who you're meant to be.
Now, it didn't take you 2 days to, you know, to write this book or to live these experiences and go through this journey yourself. You've had a long pathway, one in which you learned from your mentor, Desmond Tutu.
Yes.
What did you learn from him?
Well, you know, the first gift was I went to see him in 1980 when I was going to be imprisoned in South Africa, and he said, "No, you're not going to prison. I'm sending you to the U.S."
And tell us why exactly you were going to be in prison.
For opposition to the old apartheid system. Right. And he basically said to me, "Robert, so tell me, you know, not what you've done, but who you are." And I ended up telling him a story. I mean, I was surprised by his question. I tell the story, and then he starts laughing. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what have I said? And I discover that the story I tell him is about a man who's transformed my life through reading his book, and the same man transformed Tutu's life about 30 or 40 years prior to that. He'd known him in person.
Wow. Wow.
So, you know, nice the power of connecting stories. Never make assumptions about the things that may or may not connect you to another person.
Great lesson right there.
So, yeah, I've learned generosity from him, and loyalty, and an amazing gift of friendship.
What about the Dalai Lama? Another friend of yours?
Well,
got some highfalutin friends.
Yeah, he really does.
You know, I was privileged to host a conversation between the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu about 4 years ago on compassion and what it means to live a life grounded in compassion about your own self, about the people around you, which is often the most challenging thing in the world, and the world in which we live. And so the book, in fact, offers some real practical guidelines for how to be compassionate in your ordinary everyday life.
Now, you were also the first openly gay Episcopal dean in the United States.
Yes.
And you've helped country singer Shelley Wright, who's also now out. Yeah. And she's a wonderful singer, a wonderful woman, and I know she had a tough journey herself because I've interviewed her before. Yeah. How did you help her through her journey?
Well, firstly, I cherish my friendship with Shelley. I think she's just remarkable.
She's outstanding.
And
yes.
So I think I've been there as a friend for Shelley and as a spiritual guide. And I think the real truth is that, you know, I've known along the journey that I need guides and mentors to help me and inspire me. And so, but the truth is that those folks normally help illuminate the wisdom and the truth that already exists in us, and that sometimes we may just be looking for the courage to claim and to live into. And I think what Shelley's life does so beautifully with such grace and hope is claims that truth. And I think, you know, I talk about this in my book, that often the so-called disillusionments of our life are in fact often a veiled blessing to live into something really much greater and bringing us more fully alive.
If there's one thing we can all do today to become more alive, what's one thing we have to push out of our lives? What's stopping us?
You know, if someone is telling you that, you know, if only you could, or why do you think you have the right to do X or Y? And often it's a family member or somebody close from us. Detach. Practice detachment. Step away and ground yourself in the truth that you are invited by life and that the world needs you to live into those very things that you are enclosing yourself from.
Wonderful lessons for all of us to take into the new year.
Don't listen to the naysayers.
Yes.
Be sure to pick up a copy of Robert V. Taylor's book, A New Way to Be Human.
It's where books are sold. Now, it's still to come on Daytime.
You won't want to miss country singer Maggie Rose. She's belting out a holiday classic for us.
And it's beautiful. Stay with us.